Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into 10 gentle parenting secrets that will help you get your kids to listen without ever having to raise your voice. So much of the parenting advice we hear feels like it's about gaining control over our kids. But what if the key to getting your kids to listen isn't about control at all? It's about connection. Let's dive into these 10 gentle parenting secrets that will help you strengthen that connection with your child and create a more peaceful home. Imagine this. You're rushing to get everyone out the door, and your child is refusing to put on their shoes. It's easy to get frustrated and start yelling, "We're going to be late. Put your shoes on now." But what happens when we do that? Your child gets defensive, the situation escalates, and everyone ends up feeling stressed. Instead of starting with a demand, try starting with connection. Get down on their level, make eye contact, and offer a gentle touch. You can say something like, "Good morning, my love. I see you're building a tall tower with your blocks." When you take a moment to connect with your child before launching into a request, you're letting them know that you see them and care about what they're doing. Even a few seconds of genuine connection can make a world of difference. So the next time you find yourself in a power struggle with your child, remember to start with connection. A warm hug or a kind word can go a long way in diffusing tension. This approach not only helps in the moment, but also strengthens your relationship over time. Building a habit of connection can transform your daily interactions and create a more harmonious home environment. Okay, so we've talked about the importance of starting with connection. Now let's talk about setting clear expectations. Children thrive on structure and predictability. When they know what to expect, they feel safer and more secure. But here's the thing. Kids aren't born knowing the rules. It's our job to teach them, and we need to teach them in a way that they can understand. This means using clear, simple language and avoiding vague requests like, "Be good" or "Don't make a mess." Instead, try something like, "When we're at the grocery store, please keep your hands on the cart." It's also important to set realistic expectations. Start with smaller, more achievable goals, and gradually increase the challenge as they get older. Setting clear expectations isn't about being controlling. It's about providing your child with the structure and guidance they need to feel safe and successful. Have you ever noticed how kids are more likely to cooperate when they know what's coming next? That's where when-then statements come in handy. When-then statements are like a roadmap for your child. They provide a clear understanding of what needs to happen before something else can happen. For example, instead of saying, "Clean up your toys," you could say, "When your toys are put away, then we can go to the park." The first statement feels like a demand, while the second statement feels like a choice. When kids feel like they have some control over the situation, they're much more likely to cooperate. When-then statements are especially helpful for transitions, which can often be a trigger for meltdowns. Remember, the goal is to create a sense of predictability and structure, which helps kids feel safe and secure. Think back to a time when you felt micromanaged or controlled. Didn't feel great, did it? Now imagine how our kids must feel when they're constantly being told what to do. One of the most powerful things we can do as parents is to give our kids choices. Even small choices can make a big difference in how they feel. Instead of saying, "Put on your blue shirt," try saying, "Do you want to wear your blue shirt or your green shirt?" Offering choices doesn't mean letting your child call all the shots. It's about giving them some autonomy within a structured environment. When kids feel like they have a voice, they're more likely to cooperate and less likely to engage in power struggles. Let's face it, kids have big feelings, and sometimes those big feelings can lead to big meltdowns. In those moments, it's easy to get caught up in the chaos and react in a way that we later regret. But here's the thing. Our kids need us to be the calm in their storm. When we can stay calm and composed, we're not just modeling healthy emotional regulation, we're also creating a sense of safety and security for our child. Think of it this way. Imagine you're on a boat in the middle of a storm. Would you feel safer with a captain who's panicking and yelling, or a captain who's calm and collected? Our kids need us to be that calm and collected captain. So the next time your child is having a meltdown, take a deep breath, remind yourself that you're the adult, and approach the situation with empathy and understanding. When our kids are upset, our instinct is often to try to fix it. We want to swoop in and make everything better, to solve the problem and wipe away their tears. We want to make the bad feelings go away as quickly as possible. But sometimes, the best thing we can do is simply listen and validate their feelings. This means being present and showing empathy. Validation doesn't mean that you agree with your child's feelings. It's about recognizing their emotions as real and important. It simply means that you're acknowledging and accepting their experience, no matter how trivial it may seem to you. So if your child is upset because they can't have another cookie, instead of saying, "You don't need another cookie, you just had one," try saying, "I hear you. You're sad that you can't have another cookie. I get it. Cookies are delicious. It's okay to feel disappointed." When we validate our children's feelings, we're teaching them that their emotions are important and that it's okay to feel them. This builds trust and connection. This helps them develop emotional intelligence and self-awareness, which are essential skills for navigating the world. They learn to understand and manage their emotions better. Validation isn't about giving in or letting them have their way. It's about creating a safe space for your child to express their emotions without judgment. This safe space is crucial for their emotional growth and well-being. Let's be honest, we all thrive on positive reinforcement, right? It feels good to be acknowledged and appreciated for our efforts. Well, the same goes for our kids. Positive reinforcement is one of the most effective ways to encourage good behavior. When we focus on what our kids are doing right, we're more likely to see more of that behavior in the future. It's easy to get caught up in pointing out our kids' mistakes. But what if we made a conscious effort to catch them doing something good? It could be as simple as saying, "Thank you for putting your dish in the sink," or "I love how you're sharing your toys with your brother." When you notice and acknowledge your child's positive behavior, you're not just making them feel good, you're also strengthening your bond. Imagine this. You're at a restaurant and the waiter keeps bringing you the wrong order. First, they bring you the wrong drink, then they bring you the wrong appetizer, and finally, they bring you the wrong main course. Frustrating, right? That's what it's like for kids when we're inconsistent with our rules and expectations. They don't know what to expect, and they start to test the boundaries. Consistency is key when it comes to parenting. When kids know what the rules are and that they'll be enforced consistently, they're much more likely to follow them. This doesn't mean that you can't ever make exceptions or adjust the rules as your child gets older, but it's important to do so thoughtfully and to communicate the changes clearly. Consistency provides a sense of security and predictability, which helps kids feel safe and loved. We all know that kids are like sponges, soaking up everything they see and hear. They're constantly watching us, learning from our example. If we want our kids to be respectful, kind, and responsible, we need to model those behaviors ourselves. This can be as simple as saying please and thank you, apologizing when we make a mistake, or resolving conflicts peacefully. It's also important to be mindful of our own stress levels and emotional regulation. When we're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, it's easy to let our emotions get the best of us. But if we want our kids to learn healthy coping mechanisms, we need to model those behaviors ourselves. Remember, our kids are always watching. Let's make sure we're setting a good example. Have you ever noticed how kids sometimes seem to take forever to respond to a request? It can feel like an eternity, especially when you're in a hurry or need an immediate answer. It can be tempting to repeat ourselves over and over again, but sometimes the best thing we can do is give them a little time to process. This pause can be crucial for their understanding and response. Kids' brains process information differently than adults' brains. They often need a bit more time to absorb new information and figure out how to respond appropriately. They need time to absorb what we've said and figure out how they're going to respond. This processing time is essential for their cognitive development. So the next time you ask your child to do something, give them a few moments to process the request before repeating yourself. This patience can make a big difference in their ability to follow through. You can even count silently to yourself to give them a little extra time. This silent counting can help you stay calm and give your child the space they need. It's also important to avoid bombarding them with too much information at once. Overloading them can lead to confusion and frustration. If you need to give them a multi-step instruction, break it down into smaller, more manageable chunks. This makes it easier for them to understand and follow through. By giving our kids the time and space they need to process information, we're helping them develop their listening skills and their ability to follow instructions effectively. This approach fosters a more harmonious and understanding relationship. Thanks for watching. I hope these 10 gentle parenting secrets have given you some practical tips and a fresh perspective on how to connect with your child in a way that fosters cooperation and understanding. Parenting is a journey, not a destination. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more parenting advice. See you next time.